A lot of shows about couples therapy have popped up in the last few years. And as a couples therapist myself, I've noticed a pattern that is really having me very worried. Today, I want to talk to you about affair disclosure and some clips that I recently saw on a show called Blue Therapy. I'm Desirae Ysasi. I'm the Director of Training and Certification for the Relational Life Institute. Just so we're on the same page, I'm not going to be commenting at all on the couples or the clients themselves, but I did want to share my thoughts on some of what I saw being used as interventions or exercise. I wanted to give you my take on some of the therapeutic interactions that are going on in the show and let you know what I think about them through a relational lens. As a licensed professional counselor with 20 years of experience specifically working with people in relationships, I've got a lot to say about the relational work that's out there in the world.
Okay, so we're going to break that cycle now, because it's really quite important that you get on the same page here and draw a line under the past. We're going to do an exercise.
Okay.
All right? Turn to face each other. Have a look at each other. You're going to take it in turns. Each partner completes this sentence. One thing I'm afraid to tell you, but I need to, is. And you say, thank you for telling me. That matters to me.
I have to say thank you for telling me.
You have to say thank you for telling. That matters to me.
Oh, Karen, man, you're asking for a lot.
Yeah, it's a stretch, but let's have a go. Let's try it. Come on.
As I watch shows like this, one of the things that occurs to me is there are a lot of people watching this and don't have any frame of reference around what therapy is really like, what is typical or what to expect. And so as a trained clinician and a licensed mental health professional, what gets me a little nervous is that there are people out there going, oh, this is how therapy should go down, or this is how disclosure should work. And that's why I feel compelled to kind of say a few things about it, because if this is your experience in therapy, oh boy. Because here's the first thing that I noticed. There wasn't an invitation to the exercise. As a relational therapist, one of the things I do first and foremost with couples is I let them know that they can pass on anything I suggest at any time. I want there to be some mutual respect and awareness of one's internal boundaries. And so I always make a contract with my clients. Hey, I think there's something we could try that would be beneficial. Are you open to doing that? Does this feel okay for you? You can pass if it doesn't. And there isn't any of that. And so when clients are sort of put on the spot to do an exercise without any sort of invitation to check inside themselves, if it feels safe, approachable, appropriate at that time, without that invitation to do that, that feels kind of boundary violating for me from the get-go. Not to mention, read their body language. As she was setting this up, they're looking away, they're fidgeting, she starts messing with her hair, they laugh. There's all of these nonverbal signs that they don't feel comfortable or prepared to do this. In fact, to me, they looked a little shocked at what they were being asked to do. And I think that's important to pay attention to. I would have asked, hey, I'm noticing you're fidgeting. Tell me what's coming up for you as you think about doing a disclosure like this. Those are really important messages to track and a part of the process that a trained relational therapist would be picking up on and would be naming and talking through. So those are a few things just from the get-go. Now we get to the exercise itself. Get all the secrets out so that we can move on. I just think that's really risky without a lot of benefit in the way that she has set this up. Something that I've been afraid to tell you so far. Well, a lot of times we're afraid to share things with our partners for very good reason. They might react with rage. They might go into a terrible, terrible shame collapse and blame themselves. There's a lot of potential there for some really serious consequences when we just disclose things without any responsibility around the impact that disclosure could have. I was concerned that there wasn't a lot of attention paid to that. And again, when thinking about people watching this and thinking that this is a therapeutic exercise, I know that people replicate what they see on TV in their relationships. And I just think to go into a conversation with your partner where there's been broken trust and there has been tension and conflict, and to say, okay, we just need to tell all the secrets, get it out there without any sort of guardrails or thoughtfulness behind the disclosure. I think that's a real setup for a lot of harm. I actually, and this might be something that a lot of you go, wait, what? But I don't believe in 100% unfiltered honesty with a partner. I think that there can be plenty of places where we do thoughtfully choose not to share something with a partner because it has the potential to be damaging without any kind of real benefit to the relationship. I actually practice and teach responsible honesty. So I am thinking and having empathy for my partner around what I'm disclosing.
One thing I'm afraid to tell you, but I need to, is the date I lied about. I said nothing happened, but we did kiss.
Okay. Are you being serious? I'm genuinely trying to process what you've just told me. I can't lie, it's not a small deal. For me, that's just bottom barrel, to be honest.
I'm sorry for not telling you. I mean, those times were quite sensitive times, if I'm being honest, and I think I also tried to disassociate myself from the situation and act like...
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I'm just explaining.
Why he didn't tell you.
I'm not even trying to violate or anything.
You know that's actually crazy.
What are you responding to, Daisy?
I'm responding to him telling me that he kissed her. I actually asked you 1,000,000 times. And it's not even like I was unspecific. I specifically asked.
The point of this exercise was to get all of those secrets out so that you can process them. We're trying to draw a line under the past, so just to help us move on. The response?
Cool. Thank you for telling me. That matters to me.
This disclosure that he went outside of the relationship, he kissed another woman, which looks like his partner suspected anyway. That is probably a disclosure that needs to happen so that Daisy can make an informed choice for herself about whether or not she's going to continue in the relationship. However, there wasn't the holding that I would like to see from the therapist around a disclosure like that. There wasn't a caring holding for what could come up for Daisy. And I didn't see any guidance for her around how to respond. It was just, response, Daisy? And so, of course, she starts to blow up and she starts to attack and insult Jay, which if this were a session in an office without a whole crew around, could really escalate into something that becomes very threatening for not only the couple, but for the therapist as well. So there wasn't any guidance around not only the disclosure, but there wasn't holding and guidance for Daisy around what to do with that information.
Daisy, Is there something that you can tell Jay? One thing I need to tell you.
So here she is now in her heightened pain. And I think we've got a sense from Daisy that she is someone who could really lash out when she's hurting. So now we have her hurt and in pain, and she's being invited to disclose a secret as well. So that just has me feeling like, oh boy, this is not going to be good.
One thing I'm afraid to tell you, the guy that I was going to go out with when we'd broken up that time, that's not the first date we've organised.
How many other dates?
Once or twice, I don't know.
And did you ever go on any of them?
No.
But you organized dates?
Yeah, because, as I said, like...
Hey, look. I'm out here, man.
That's fine, you kissed her, so...
Honestly,
Jay?
Yes.
I can't even... Whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you would suspect could happen without that sort of holding presence. This was disclosure for the sake of disclosure. From her pain, she is now, I think, disclosing something that she knows will hurt him. You know, if we really listen to this disclosure, she said she was talking to him, organized some dates, but then never went on them. A little bit later in the scene, she says she never went on them because she didn't have the heart to do it. She couldn't bring herself to do it. She knew it would be wrong. So it was some conversation, not good, but not anything she ever acted on. So, you know, when I think about responsible honesty and when I think about disclosing secrets, we are guiding our clients to disclose things. And yeah, sometimes they're painful and they hurt and it's hard, but for a purpose, for a benefit. And I just can't help but wonder, what is the benefit of that? I think she named that to hurt him back and to sort of get on some kind of level ground with him of, oh yeah, you cheated on me. Well, there's other guys out there that want me too, and I could be with them in a hot second. It just lands as manipulative and provocative for the sake of being provocative. And I don't think it's helpful or healthy to the system or to the relationship or to healing trust. And as you could see, his reaction to it was to walk off. So there you go. The session ends. So let's look at another couple in another session that is on a similar topic, and we'll see how this one is handled as well.
Can I ask, how many times have you cheated on Mons?
What are we talking about? Like,
Well, that's in my definition.
Yeah, let's use Mons as definition.
Can't count, can you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, in your definition then, Shay, how many times have you
You're gonna
cheated?
say once.
Once.
And how many times do you think she's cheated?
I can't count. It's countless.
So cheating has become a bit of a norm for you.
Yeah.
How did it feel, the thought of not getting her back?
It hurts still.
Okay.
It hurt.
What did it feel like?
I guess like kind of lost my best mate.
So just a couple of terms that I'll use when working with infidelity. I talk about the involved partner. That is the person that went outside the relationship. Then I use the term injured partner for the person who was on the receiving end of that betrayal, the person that was cheated on. And then there's the affair partner. That is the third. That is the person outside of the relationship. So I actually am really bothered by the fact that she focuses on the emotions of the involved partner. Why? Well, I want that person to feel appropriately bad about the bad behavior that they did. And I want them to sit in that a bit. And what I want to amplify and to take center stage is the injured partner's emotions. Because see, when we're working to repair infidelity and betrayal, we have to give lots of space for the injured partner to talk about what that's been like for them, what it was like to discover it, what it's been like to live with it every day since, because the involved partner's ability to hold that, witness it, offer compassion, offer repair, and express empathy and accountability, those are the ingredients to successfully repairing a breach in trust and to repairing betrayal and the pain caused by an affair.
But if I did everything that you did, would you stay with me?
So you expect Mons to behave differently to you?
Yeah.
How does that feel for you?
I just think it's double standard, to be honest.
So how does that leave you feeling, Shay?
Like, that's why, like, now, I can't keep doing this kind of thing because I'm about to lose it.
The fact that we're focusing on what it was like for the involved partner to feel like they might not get their partner back, that's not, in my opinion, where you start first. I want to hear what it's been like for the injured partner, and then I can work with the involved partner to pay attention to that and offer repair. Because think of it, in this instance, I think Mons was actually doing something that most injured partners don't do, at least not in the sessions that I've had. They were letting them talk about their pain. Most injured partners, if that goes on for, more than about 10 seconds, well, what about my pain? Well, what do you think it's been like for me? You mean I'm supposed to feel sorry for you because you feel bad about what you did, or because the risk of losing me hurt you? Well, you should have thought of that before. There's not a lot of tolerance for that by the injured partner. They don't want to hear about the involved partner's pain. They want that the other way around. They want their partner to hear about their pain. And so I think that was a massive miss. The other thing that I'll comment on is right from the get-go, there's no clarity around the definition of cheating. I think it was a miss by the therapist not to align with the injured partner's definition of cheating. Cheating and what is okay within the context of a relationship really is an agreement between those two people, and anything that is outside of what we consider okay by us is cheating. I think it's important for the therapist to align with the injured partner because they're the ones on the receiving end of the pain and the broken trust, and it's a way to side with the more disempowered hurt partner. And that's important in effective affair recovery.
So I'm just going to read these out and you can have a think about these together, okay? Mm-hmm. So in a relationship, I believe my role is, and a belief I carry that helps me feel safe in relationships is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what those prompts are going to yield. That felt like a strange left turn for me. A lot of clients come to therapy wanting homework assignments, and my thought is, certainly there are things that can be focused on and worked on, reflected on in between sessions, but those assignments, if you will, need to be really thoughtful and intentional and support what is being done in the session right now. And I just don't get the connection between those questions and what they're talking about. The affair that happened, the cheating that happened. And I'm using the term affair pretty broadly. I'm using that to cover anything that went on beyond that contract between the two people, any behavior with a third person. It feels like we just moved on from that. And when I've worked with couples and they've come to me after a previously failed therapy attempt, a lot of the injured partners tell me they feel like they didn't get enough space or time to talk about what that breach of trust has been like for them, what living through that has been like. I've heard it described as a truly traumatic event, and I believe that because people will have flashbacks of whatever the discovery was, whether it was a text or a photo that they saw, or they caught their partner in the act, or a friend told them about what happened. They will have flashbacks of the discovery. They will be physically ill, and it can really cause them to just question so much about what they believed to be true, not only about their relationship, but about themselves. And there was just no discussion of any of that. It just moved on into these sort of random, kind of superficial, check the box sort of self-reflections. What I would have wanted to see is specific action. So if we're going to think about a homework assignment and something to do between sessions, I would have wanted to see some specific actions that Shay, the involved partner, could take to begin earning back trust. A lot of times involved partners say, well, okay, I did it and I said I was sorry and I'm not doing it anymore and I'm committed to you, so you're just going to have to trust me again. That's not how that works. That's a very immature mindset. It sounds like, a teenager when they've broken curfew and then they're like, okay, I won't do it anymore. Just trust me, Mom. Trust is earned back by consistently doing what you say you're going to do. Shay needs to step up and show Mons that she is committed to the relationship. And if Shay isn't sure how to do that, well, guess what? We have Mons right there. And if I were the therapist in the session, I would ask Mons, listen, tell me, what are some actions you would like to see from Shay that would begin to help support rebuilding trust with her? And I'd work with her to get specific. A lot of times, injured partners want access to phones or computers. I'm okay with that. I think there needs to be some very specific guardrails around that. I don't get to just log on and check anytime I want without your knowledge, but I can say to you, hey, I'm feeling really triggered. I'm feeling a lot of mistrust. Can we sit down together? And would you show me your text messages so I can see what's there? There can be a sharing of passwords for a very specific period of time. And then we coach the clients to bring anything that feels sticky or difficult to talk about. Bring that to session. So Mons, if you find something that you're uncomfortable with or don't like, don't get too far into that at home. Make a note of it, bring it to session, let's talk about it, let's work through it. But we want to get specific action steps for the involved partner. And we also want to coach them on how they can just show up and listen when the injured partner says, I'm having a flashback, or I'm feeling triggered, or I'm feeling sick to my stomach thinking about what has happened. You can coach the involved partner to be present and attuned and to offer empathy and compassion for the pain that their behavior caused. And that is how you rebuild trust after an affair. So thank you for watching. This is a topic that is really important to me as a relationship therapist. A lot of couples experience repair and go through breaches of trust, but that doesn't have to be the end of the relationship. In fact, it can be a beautiful new beginning, but you've got to have a therapist on your side that knows how to support you down that path. And so when I see shows like this, I know that shows about therapy and couples therapy have become really popular. So when I see things like this out there in the world, I just feel compelled to say something about it because I do know that recovery and healing is possible. I have seen couples make profound transformations after going through something like this. And so I want you to feel hope if you're going through something like this, and to know how to recognize when you're being guided by a professional that really knows how to deal with affair recovery properly.